Hey, what's up guys? So we're here to showcase off the new Necrofear support cards. There's only a few cards, so you gotta mix it in with something else as of right now. But really what your goal can be for this deck is to utilize Dark Spirit of the Malice. Now, there is a build where you're supposed to go for the Destiny board. We're not really utilizing this, which is just kind of a bunch of feed monsters that we're able to just get into the graveyard, then banish and get some type of bonus effect. Now, I gotta explain this thing really quick. It's a really important key combo if you're interested in building this deck. So, Dark Occultism over here lets you discard a card to add a Destiny board or one level 8 feed monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then during the main phase, except for the turn this card was into the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to place any number of Destiny board and or Spirit Message with different names from your hand and or graveyard to the bottom of any deck, then you can draw the same number of cards. So there is kind of some synergy to utilize both of them, but we're really just using the Necrofear. So what you're able to do is you discard specifically the Spirit of the Malice over here. And Spirit of the Malice has this effect where you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard as a hand trap, target a level 8 fiend monster from graveyard and spell summon it, but negate its effects. But don't worry, you're not really negating its effect because it's going to get an effect after anyways. But if a level 8 fiend monster is sent to your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So basically, the card that dies, you're going to be able to keep on bringing back the Necrofear and also the Dark Spirit of the Malice. So I guess the goal of this deck was designed intentionally to be a stall deck. And Spell Mining Cave, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen this card. It's absolutely amazing. But we're going to go ahead and banish 3 cards to, of course, summon the Necrofear. And then eventually we're going to be putting back those banished cards to summon Cursed Necrofear. So basically the Dark Necrofear and the Cursed Necrofear work well with each other, because this one you're supposed to target your banished ones and then special summon this card from your hand. But you're probably going to try to special summon it from the graveyard via the Dark Spirit of Malice's effect. So basically you can link up with your fiend monsters, just get out some fiend monsters is really what it comes down to. And I'll briefly talk about some of the other cards that you guys can try out. But this card is not just a hand trap. It's a quick effect, so you can send it from your field to the graveyard, so you can just kind of play a little bit more aggressively with it. But when your opponent activates an effect, you can tribute it from the board, or I guess it's just send it, and then you get to special summon the card. It does negate the effect, okay? But with this card over here, what you're able to do is when this is destroyed by an opponent's card, by battle bar card effect, when it's sent to the graveyard, well, it was a monster card that you control, and even though its effect is negated, don't worry, that effect works in the graveyard. You're going to be able to basically snatch to your opponent's monster. Now we're going to go ahead and summon the other card. We're just basically dumping them in the graveyard because, well, in this instance, we're going to be using the new card, Psychic Implosion, and that's going to double the monster's attack. In this case, it was Blackluster the Chaos Warrior. And what's cool with this is we're going to be able to banish one card in the field, and whenever your opponent's doing anything, remember we just added that card back to our hand, we're going to go ahead and activate that effect. So our opponent is activating anything. We could just negate that and summon a very powerful monster, and Cursed Necrofear will be coming back out. And then if this card is destroyed while it's in the owner's monster zone, you get to special summon this card, then destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of spells and traps you control with a different name. In that instance, Spell Mining Cave was already gone. It's supposed to work well with the Destiny board, but like, if you guys know, Destiny board is so hard to realistically pull off. But on top of that, it's pretty cool that you can just use it well with the other card. Before I hop into the Liger is something you can run in multiple decks. I just wanted to mention some of the Necrofear stuff because it's been a while since like anyone's really seen some of the cards. So I already mentioned the effect of Necrofear. It basically can snatch steal your opponent's monsters, and we'll see that in a second here. But the other card that's supposed to be part of the Necrofear archetype, if you will, which is this card, which is kind of like their, I guess, part of them. It's Darkness Neosphere. But anyways, the card cannot be normal summon or set. It's special summoned by sending a fiend type monster you control and another fiend type monster from your hand to the graveyard when your opponent's monster declares an attack. And it has 4,000, 4,000, and then this card cannot be destroyed by battle, and once per turn you can return all face-up trap cards you control to the hand. So it does have its utility for that you can reset some certain stuff that like maybe has a proc effect, although we're not really running any traps in this build. Psychic Implosion in this deck is actually really nasty. because you're able to, again, deal a bunch of damage, and then you can just negate, if your opponent's activating any effect, you get to negate that effect with the Spirit, summon the stronger monster, which is usually going to be this card over here, the Cursed Necrofear, and then you get to double its attack, so you can hit your opponent for like 6k and negate an effect, which, you know, is pretty balanced. The rest of the cards, honestly, like, I was thinking about doing a deck profile for this, but, like, the deck is not ready yet. This is not my build. This was sent in by a homie. But let's go ahead and check out the Liger, which, I mean, it's still utilizing the Necrofear support. Again, like, you basically are just looking at a bunch of dark monsters, but also fiends. Allure of Darkness could definitely be a great addition to this. There wasn't any in here, but like that will instantly obviously banish, and that will be nice. You also have cards like Chaos Hunter that are great. But dude, this guy that's playing Morphtronics, just watch what happens, alright? This guy's going off. So he ends up making a Saryuja off one of the Selphons. Selphon, dude, this guy straight up sacks with Selphon. Like, this guy has hearted the cards with his Morphtronic deck. So he's going to summon another Selphon because, well, that's just how Morphtronic works. And then he's going to be summoning all of the Remotins too. And he's just going to get a lot of free advantage. And then he's got the Smartphone. But just, it's a dice roll, man, dude. Excavating those cards, getting those Morphtronics. And he's going to go ahead and make another Saryuja and then summon another Smartphone. He gets a 6 off of that, so he's going to be able to cycle through some more Morphtronics. Like, dude, this guy makes Morphtronics look viable. He gets a 1-for-1, and then he's obviously going to go ahead and summon Selphon. Selphon's going to bring out Vacuum In, and then he's going to go ahead and summon Remotin over here. And then that card has that effect. We can add a Morphtronic monster at the same level. And he ends up just making a Nightmare board, so it's like, you can't be destroyed by battle, cannot be destroyed by card effects. We're going to go ahead and make a Cerberus. He can't really pop anything, but he's still able to get stuff from the graveyard. Grapha, still having that pop effect can be nice, but against this matchup right here. And I mentioned before, Grapha can be technically used in the Necrofear stuff. Like, some of the new Necrofear cards can work well in a Dark World deck. So we're going to go ahead and see Necroface summon. And we're going to be also making the Miss Cape Barber. So this card just lets you basically have link zones, because what it does is at the start of the battle phase, you can target this card or one card that points to you, and you just banish it until the end phase. So you can use it to make it so your other card can dodge cards. Although this card doesn't have that much attack, you might be taking some damage, but if you have a really important card to protect, this could actually be a pretty good card. So we're going to actually see the Chaos Warrior summoned by discarding a card. Obviously, it's going to fill up the grave with more fiends, so we can utilize them later down the line. We're going to go ahead and see Griffin. He's going to go ahead and attack him Chaos Hunter and rip the Barber over here. But yeah, Barber's not too bad for dodging. And then we have the Necrofear summoning. We'll go ahead and also equip it with Power of the Guardians. So we're going to go ahead and attack over our opponent over here, but it can't be destroyed because, well, that's just part of all three of this. And dude, the guy's got a lot of free draws with the Unicorn. Dude, this guy is sacking with the Selphon. He gets another 5 over here. I always wanted to upload this as a standalone video because it was so good, dude. The Morphtronics, keeping it real. But he's going to go ahead and attack. And this is a bad idea because I don't think this guy knew what the Dark Necrofear does, because this card's going to come back and it's going to snatch steal your opponent's monster. And then we also have Darkness Neurosphere up on the board, and obviously at this point he's like, oh, I'm out of luck here. He pretty much went through most of his cards, so he's going to go ahead and Shrudo. He's going to make Power Tool in defense mode. I guess that was his only option, and just pass, because that's 25 defense points. We're going to see the Spell Mining Cave activated over there, because we only control 1. And we also have, again, the Dark Spirit of the Denial. This card is just so insane. Being able to negate whatever your opponent does, and then just be like, oh, I just get a free extra monster. Good stuff indeed. And then we have the Doomsday Horror, and we're just going to go ahead and link up and make Liger. And this lets you copy another monster's attack, and then obviously Spell Mining Cave. God, dude, this card is so unfair, dude. I really think this card should be nerfed. But anyways, looking at this build over here, because this one was a little bit different. Again, I feel like it's too early for a deck profile on this. I know some of you guys want it, but we're just here to kind of talk about other cards that would work well in the deck. Because what you're really looking for is fiends that are good. I was even, like, when I was thinking about building this deck, like, because you just need to get things, I was thinking, like, you can run maybe some Lightsworn, you have Dark Light, maybe like a Twilight, a Chaos build. That's probably the build that I was going to go with, honestly, because I, for one, always think Lightsworn is great if you need to get cards in the graveyard. But the fact that this card over here would work well because it has that effect where if a level 8 Fiend monster is sent to the graveyard while it's in the graveyard, you know, you could get that free extra mill or whatever the case may be, you get to add this card right back to your hand. So, like, even if you send it to the graveyard with a Lightsworn effect, that's not that bad. It's just sometimes... oh, this is also technically a Fiend over here. Because the monsters that you have, like, it's totally fine to get them in the graveyard. You could run the Maju Garzet, which you tribute the cards and it becomes a combined attack. You might be thinking, well, what's the point of that? Well, one, this does do piercing damage. Two, the monsters that you put in the graveyard, you want them there because you need to utilize the negate effect of the Dark Spirit of the Malice. Now, there is... oh, I guess we also have the Blood Blossom, which is pretty cool. Oh, that's a Fiend. Okay, I didn't even think about that. This card has some potential. It's obviously gonna force you to make some Link monsters, or there's certain times where this card cannot be used early in the duels. But sometimes it does have play in like turn 2. It could be very good just to bring back like another extra deck monster, and on top of that, banish something that your opponent has. Is quite good. But anyways, let me know, guys, what you think of the new Necrofear stuff. And, well, I guess technically we did make this, too. I just wanted to showcase off the Lesser Light, because this card's not bad. I mean, it's just a generic card, and because of Necrofear, we stole that other person's Summon Sorceress and then just linked straight into Lesser Liger, which proved itself to be pretty good. And then, this build over here, it didn't have the new Psychic Implosion card, but if you were to do that, because this card gains... it just gains attack, right? It doesn't say, like, it doesn't... okay. It gains attack equal to its attack of the monster that you take, so it doesn't like half the amount of battle damage that they take, right? Okay, just got to make sure. Because in the other build that we saw over here, we did showcase off the Psychic Implosion because you lose life points equal to its attack, and if its attack is doubled, so you can tactically 10k one-shot your opponent, and that's, again, after you're negating something and you're getting it on the monster. So think about maybe combining both of those, or let me know, guys, what you think of the new Necrofear support. I think it works quite well with the older stuff, but we need to get more Fiends in the graveyard. I know they have the Dark Occultism that lets you discard a card to add one, and you're technically discarding one. But if there's any other utility with Fiends that you can, like, discard, let me know. I think what are the Fableds, actually, now just thinking about this. Are they, any of them, they are Fiends. Ooh. We're on to something, guys. Alright, that might be a new build. But let me know, guys, how you would build them. Like I said, I feel like it was too early for, like, those two builds to be shown off. Because consistency can be an issue when you're playing, like, I'd say, like, I think you should definitely be looking at Allure of Darkness. Those are other great cards. But I'll get you guys deck profile pretty soon of, like, different builds. But I'm thinking Fabled, man. You could just start dumping your cards in the graveyard, and then when another Fiend goes to the grave, you just gotta add that other card back. I don't know, some potential here. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out when we cover the new build of the Necrofear. I think it's gonna be pretty good, actually, because, again, with a negate and special summon a boss monster, not bad. And then obviously the monster's going to be coming back every single time. But I don't know about mixing Destiny board. Yo, if you got Destiny board plays of the new stuff, feel free to send it in, because I'm definitely not going to be playing that. I think it's a little bit too slow-fi for me, but if you guys got cool builds, I like seeing what you guys send in. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and peace.